So the hat for one, and then his water for the other.
Is it a no-go on him? Okay. All right, let's go ahead and call the meeting to order at 1:03 p.m. Do I have an approval for the agenda as presented?
Probably should change the June 10th next meeting date.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would approve. At the bottom, it says, mine says June 10th, 2014.
That was updated on today.
I printed it out.
Oh, it was updated.
Okay, sorry. Sorry. I'll just be quiet.
Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make that motion.
Seconds. All those in favor of approving the agenda, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Agenda's approved. And Anna, just point of order, we are on camera, is that correct?
Yes.
So that's behavior, ladies and gentlemen.
Now you
Okay, let's go ahead and, do we have an agenda or a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor of approving the agenda as presented, or the minutes as presented, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, that was a pretty weak.
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay, minutes pass. Indiana State Library report.
Yes, all right. Share this with me. Okay. This is the big news. The bylaws amendment has passed. We are officially moving forward with the membership fee. The first round of bills will be due in 2016 at 50% of the tiered rate that has been assigned. 76 libraries voted in favor of the measure, 7 voted against it, and 22 abstained.
So what does that mean for the ones who voted against it?
The bylaws are governed by a 2/3 majority rule,
Right.
so this will go into effect for all member libraries.
My question is, was there, and I didn't say it very well, have they, the ones who declined to pass it, have there been talk from them then about leaving the consortium?
I can speak to one library in particular. They did vote against it, but they wholly enjoy the consortium. So there is no discussion from that particular library
Is
system.
it a couple counties north of me?
It's diagonally north of me.
Okay. Still probably the same. Okay.
As I said, there were 7 libraries. I got explanations from a couple. No one has indicated that they would be leaving on these grounds. The one vote no was actually because the library was concerned with the exit term fees, or exit fee terms. So,
Which were already in place.
which were already in place and had already been approved by that library last fall. So,
Yeah.
it was presented in slightly different language and to a different board. So there were some new concerns.
And what about the abstentions?
The abstentions, by and large, I heard back from libraries, because I did reach out to everyone who did not vote, and a lot of them went, oh, we were supposed to do something with that, right? So
they abstained because they didn't do anything.
they abstained because they missed the deadline with their board. And several of them that I talked to, the directors indicated that they would have brought this to their board in favor of having them pass it. They just misunderstood the process.
Anna, did you get any feedback from any of the libraries that they felt the ballot was confusing?
Nobody said that, but based on the variety of ways in which I received it back, I believe that not everyone found it completely simple to use.
I will speak for my library board. It's not that they found it confusing, it was just a lot to absorb.
It was.
So I just told them, you know, you got to vote this one, I don't care, you vote down here. I told them, because there was just a lot of stuff to digest in there.
There was.
And it just was
We
not.
talked about this, and this. What makes it?
Right. So I would suggest maybe in the future when things like that go out, we piecemeal it so it's not all at once.
Okay. Striking the 2G, which was the existing exit fee language, which said when you leave, you pay whatever market value is for the time and effort it takes to get you out, in favor of the flat rate. 79 endorsed it, 3 voted against it, and 23 abstained. And for the language that changed the timeline and nominee procurement process, 81 members approved it and 24 abstained. No change. No one spoke against it. As a matter of fact, I had a couple of libraries say they were delighted to have an opportunity to meet the nominees before getting to vote. So we're looking forward to meeting next year's nominees at the some of our ongoing projects. We are actively still collecting on the first quarter from this year. I've had a few bookkeepers reach out to me. We are trying. A couple of libraries have some extenuating circumstances that are causing an additional delay, but we are in active communication with them a couple of times a week trying to get this cleared up. I spoke with Royal Center last week. They have approximately 17,000 items cataloged. They consider this to be 50% of what they are targeting for their completed collection automation project. And they're pretty confident they'll be finished up by the end of this year. So it'll be a little over a year since they started because they began last October, but getting in the entire collection in under 18 months with a major meeting project is excellent.
Offhand, do you know what their population served is?
1,800. The annual meeting went very well. I thanks to everyone for attending. We are not probably going to be doing the committee meetings during the annual meeting next year, just so that everybody sitting on the committees actually has a chance to attend sessions. But by and large, we received extremely positive reviews and recommendations that we hold it there again. So moving forward with renewing the contract, it's much easier. So we'll be able to remedy any small issues we run across and move forward well. We just completed the Danville migration. We have a guest, Mindy Hughes, here from Danville. It was a really good day. I mean, State Library was able, because of their proximity and how timeline worked out, we were actually able to send out a whole team to the State Library, and Plainfield sent a team as well, so we were able to give a lot of one-on-one refresher with staff as we brought them on, and it was key. Upcoming timelines, we've discussed it internally. We're going to try to push out a simplified version of the K-PAC later this summer, so I'll be looking forward to your feedback on that. With the acquisitions project, we're working on laying the groundwork. There were some functionalities we needed to configure and get in place before we're going to be able to turn the acquisitions on and start working with our EDI vendors again. But things are going well there. I am actively searching for a second pilot to go with the first round. We had 2 in addition to the State Library, but the one library has changed management, and with all the other processes involved in getting acclimated to your new library, I figured throwing acquisitions on top of it was probably a little much. So if your library would like to participate in the first round, please let me know, or if you're hearing one of the other libraries say, when is it going to get started already, have them talk to me, and they can come help me be the guinea pigs.
Anna, could it be a library that's never done acquisitions before?
If you're really patient, sure.
As you look at knowingly,
That's the other report.
Okay. Committee reports. Sean, you want to go ahead and do that? E-content?
The Attica Public Library just joined our consortium, so we're up to 82 libraries. The Children's Library Project is fully functional. We got a quote from Mango offering 10% to libraries off the top. If a group would like to start a Mango consortium, they can. They would give us a 20% discount. However, if there are 5 libraries that already belong to Mango, we would need to get an additional 5 libraries to join them, and then all 10 would get the 20%, or they got the 20% discount. Makes sense. Let's see. We had a presentation from Pronunciator, and for looking for group purchase, sending out demos and references for a program. It looked very, very good as compared to some of the others that are out there. The minimum fee, didn't say the minimum fee would be waived.
Yeah, Anna, what was
that?
the
Normally, they have a gateway fee that you pay, a minimum amount that you pay, and they have agreed to waive it for our consortium so that the largest number of members can participate.
so they're basically going to waive our startup fee, is what?
Right.
Actually, it's an annual charge that they're waiving.
Okay. So then if we get 11 libraries or more to join, they would give us a 20% discount, 10% for anything under that.
What did you say that was? I'm sorry, I missed.
Pronunciator, it's a language, foreign language.
Okay, thank you.
So.
I was just going to say, if you weren't there, the demo, the product was extremely well. I thought it was well put together. It was very in depth. I mean, the presentation was long, but there was so much that covers it. You know, we decided to do it on the spot. Whether we go with the consortium or not, we're going to do it ourselves. But it was really good.
The part of it that I really liked was the mobile app. The
Yes.
Mobile app. Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to? Is patron services here? There you are.
Well, I don't have a whole lot to report on because we haven't met since your last meeting, but we do meet next Tuesday. We have several successful presentations at the annual conference, and we have some new members that are going to be on the committee starting in July. And Jennifer McKinley from Morgan County will be the new PSC chair in July. Excited.
Okay. Do we have is someone cataloging here?
No, Sarah did not make it, so I quickly am going to review it. They have 2 new members, Wendy Page from Shelby County and Sandra Osborne from Morrisville have joined the committee. The new secretary for this next year, Marlene Goodsweiler, retired and is no longer with the committee. And Matthew Stevenson has stepped up to be the secretary for that group. They're going to be workshopping the manual to try to get a jump start on all the changes from the last couple of upgrades and just workflow changes that we have, we are encouraging our libraries to go through. So a group of them are going to get together, and you should see a big manual push then this fall. They're also working on outlining cleanup projects in preparation for the authority control work. We are moving forward with authority control. We're going to have those in place before too long, but we really need to clean up the database first. So they're going to be identifying targets and projects that libraries can do in preparation for that, so that we don't have to pay someone else to do it with money we already have. The spring roundtable has been moved to midsummer because of how timing worked out, but it will be on RDA for copy catalogers, and Stephen Smith of University of Illinois Chicago will be giving that presentation, and I sent him the information so he can actually play around in our trainer, so he will be able to actually speak to the workflows in Evergreen, not just in a general sense. So that'll be July 17th from 10 to noon. The first hour will be open discussion amongst all tech services, and then his presentation will begin at 11. The registration links are already posted, and it is in the webinar.
Okay. Let's move on to unfinished business. Regional roundtables.
This took me a Took us a little longer to get to this point, but we're moving along with it. Based on discussions that we've had, unless anyone has any objections, this is what we're ready to move forward with. We've broken up the state into roughly 5 regions. Almost either one. The green doesn't show up very well, it's the yellow. There's approximately 20 to 25 libraries in each region. We're going to be contacting libraries that are centrally located in each region, asking them if they're comfortable posting. We're going to target September and October dates. And while you're here, I'd like to ask if there's a region you'd particularly like to help me with.
We'll help with our region, whatever it is, the green one. No? Are we in orange?
You,
I think you're in green.
You're green.
I'll write it down.
I had a pen. I don't know how. Is there a link somewhere so we can look at that a little bit more closely or no?
I can get it out too.
Okay.
I can post it anywhere
And
else.
yeah, help, whatever.
Unballed yours apart.
All right.
Anna, we're going to do whatever we can do.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Well, I'll just start cutting you down with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we could help
Start
centrally,
cutting
but-
target libraries. And I was looking at it, and like White County would probably be good for the northeast. There are 4 libraries there. They aren't, I don't believe any of them particularly large, but part of it is just determining just how many people the different libraries are going to want to send. So we'll be talking to everybody and seeing how that goes. But
Has there been any interest from any libraries up in that northwest corner?
Well, LaGrange has hosted trainings before for us.
No, I mean of non-Evergreen library.
Oh,
Yeah.
not Evergreen.
Yeah, northwest.
The Chicago area, a lot of them have close ties with Chicago Public.
Right,
So,
not so much.
not currently.
Okay.
No. All right, so it sounds like everybody's cool with us going forward with this in its current form? Okay.
Okay, let's move on to new business. One of my personal projects for 5 years, the new membership of North Madison County.
All right.
I have dreamed of this moment for many years.
Allow me to introduce you to our newest applicants. They are located in Madison County, and they actually kind of wrap around on these libraries.
They hug us.
So- They were Class B, serving 19,500 patrons. They currently have 3 branches. Frankton, Elwood, and Summitville, with their main branch being in Elwood. They are current ILS's TLC, and they are part of the IBDC group, so they're currently in your Overdrive consortium. And they have a target migration date of September. We've already actually done a test datable. Things came across just beautifully, so we'll get the paperwork signed this afternoon. Bob can probably start studying paperwork this evening.
Where do I sign?
Right there, we have to vote first.
That's very cool for your library.
Oh, we are, it's,
When Morrison Reeves goes, we will be doing the happy dance too.
but one of
That's right, I said one.
One of our goals has been to hit 200,000 circs a year, and I think this will push us well above that. So we are excited, ecstatic, and a little, because it's going to really affect our business a lot. It's going to change the way we do business. So
It's gonna make your entire house more county too.
well, we're getting a whole new main floor of our library, so it's good. Kind of been perfect for this too. So do I have a motion to approve North Madison County Library's application?
I'll move that.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Let me sign.
It is.
Yes. Can I get 4 pens like the president?
Take a picture.
So you remember it forever.
Yeah.
It's on video too.
Yes, absolutely.
Actually, they're saying the slideshow.
Oh, no.
But they get to hear.
Okay.
Feels good. Christine, I'll pass this one down to you. Get it signed. No green cards for us.
Beginning at our next meeting, we will welcome new committee members Crystal Ledbetter. She's on vacation and was not able to join us today, representing the Class A libraries. Evergreen, representing the Class B. And Sean Heaton, representing Class C. They are replacing Mary Ruth, Monty Manning, and Andrea Ingmeyer. And to say thank you again. It's been a pleasure working with you for the last year in this capacity and in other capacities in your past. The next thing I need from you is your new slate of officers. Cheryl Sellers is moving into the chair. Beginning of the next meeting, we need a chair-elect and a secretary.
I would be willing to do the chair-elect if somebody wants to nominate me.
So nominated.
I don't want to nominate.
That's smart. Thank you.
I'll nominate Sean for the secretary position.
Can somebody second that?
Okay, and do we, I don't know, accept this.
Then we'll vote on the slate, if there are no other nominations.
Or volunteers.
So just vote on the slate.
Okay. So with Ruth as chair-elect and Sean as secretary, do we have a motion to approve that slate?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Yay.
Thank you.
Upgrade 2.6.
Yes, 2.6 is actually out and stable. It features a number of things we've been looking forward to. On the cataloging front, there are brand new fixed field and 007 field editors, which will make getting those much easier, getting those in the system much easier, and that in turn will improve searching, because one of the challenges is Evergreen does use the fixed fields and the 007 field very heavily in determining how it searches. These will help standardize how our catalogers are getting it in. The icon project that we started talking about last fall has been folded into this, so we'll be able to get better icons, separating out things Blu-ray from DVD, and actually having a visible representation in the catalog. Meta record holds are returning, and they are dramatically improving the accessibility standards for low vision users of the OPAC. We are targeting community testing in November, doing the upgrade trainings with your libraries in early December, and then our IT team has generously offered to spend Christmas weekend updating it, so everyone is minimally impacted. So,
I'll give it to give you gifts now. He can't accept them, he's a state employee. We can buy food. Can we buy them?
could I get you guys to approve this timeline so that I can push this out to the community? Are you all right with it being that weekend?
They are.
I was gonna say, I mean, I'm okay with it, but are you really okay with it?
I used to always do Cersei upgrades on holidays, and I've already
Very
done this one
non-festive.
on other machines, and I know that it won't fit them.
Okay.
Can we talk about meta record holds?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Why? Because a lot of consortia are still dealing with one of the same problems we are, and that is, as long as you have a different bibliographic record for every edition of a book, it takes longer to fill a hold, because if you get records for an original paperback and then the movie version of the paperback, they're identical except that they were published in different years maybe. this would allow patrons to actually target both of those at a go. I know the catalogers aren't thrilled because it doesn't always work as expected, particularly with items that have common names. Every once in a while you'll end up with something that wasn't what you asked for. The example most commonly given is classics. If a Cliff Notes version is input with just the title of, say, War and Peace, if you put a meta record hold on War and Peace, you might end up with a Cliff Notes version instead of the full novel.
I know that we used to have the problem with, you would they would want a physical hardback book, you put that in there and it would come in with the audiobook. Is that been corrected somehow, or? That was where we mostly saw the problem with meta record holds.
I have not heard of that one, but that may be something, and while we're doing the cleanup with the fixed fields, maybe.
That may clean, okay.
Because it used a lot of the new upgrades use the 007 field, and that's a far more efficient method of pulling that data because it's more comprehensive.
Okay.
So it was a big deal for a number of the consortia because they want to get the holds filled as quickly as possible.
I never did use meta record holds, but when we did have them, were you able to choose the formats you wanted? Or was it just yes or no?
I just remember we'd come up with a list, and I guess you got the.
Select a couple different kinds, maybe?
I didn't. Were we able to select? That was like 2 or 3 versions ago. I don't even know that you could have select from that list. I thought anything that was in there would hold.
Okay. I wondered if it was just a cataloging problem. That was a book record with an audio book attached or something. Yeah, we can look into that.
Okay.
Okay.
It'd be nice to select formats.
Yeah, but I just don't. I don't think you could. It was just in a box, and I don't think you could select what format you wanted.
Take that option.
One of the versions did work because I used to use it all the time because I would ask for regular print and large print. I didn't really care what the print size was as long as I got the book. But
Yeah.
at some point, it kind of worked. Obviously, not as well as everyone would like, but they are coming back, so something to keep in mind.
So this upgrade, how far is this from the Evergreen Master of 2.6? Is this a pretty major fork, so we're going to have to put things into it with the next version?
What do you mean?
Well, is this stuff specific to Evergreen, Indiana, or is it turning on things that are already in
Oh,
Evergreen?
no, these are just the features that are generally in 2.6.
Okay, that we're going to make use of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not adding anything
Okay.
specific to us.
So that when we upgrade to a new version, we're not going to be losing capability. Okay.
So this is all built in.
Okay.
Vanilla stuff. And this isn't me, this is Ruth. Ruth wanted to talk about the Hackaway and Evergreen International.
Well, the Hackaway is that's gone. Hackaway is an opportunity for the developers to get together and work on the software in a specific area so they can talk to one another. And there was an opportunity, I know this went out in the listserv, for Evergreen Indiana libraries to contribute toward getting enough funding together to have it in Indiana. But it didn't come through, and so I think that the deadline for that has passed anyway. But I do think that it's something to consider. This is an annual event, and to really consider putting our support behind that in the future. It'd be nice to have it hosted in Indiana. Are we the largest consortium now? Second largest? We're big.
We're good size, we're in the top 10.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like we should really be representing what Evergreen could be in a larger, and plus it shows off our state and shows off our awesomeness.
it's also one of the best ways to get projects.
Yeah, stuff gets
going.
done there because they don't have to worry about going through IRC and they don't have to worry about, this sounds bad, librarians showing up and, I mean, it's developers working on stuff. And there's some, I mean, there are people that work in libraries that are there, but that they get a lot of things done. And they also talk about new features a lot, I've noticed. I think actually the web client was a major conversation at the last Hackaway. And so maybe something to consider for next year or the year following.
Do you think we could maybe have the funding that we're going to be collecting when we start making those fees starting in 2016? Why don't we put some of our money that we're collecting from that to go towards something like that?
I
mean,
can't
that makes
speak to
sense
that.
to me.
Yeah.
As opposed to me having to come up with an additional
Right.
if it's already in the fee that I'm going to be paying.
Certainly.
And I think
I mean,
that
I
was
think that
one
might
of
be
the
the way to
things this
go.
year. Like, okay, well, we've paid some for the Icon project for those people that participated in that, and then this, and then this constant asking for money. When we're paying the membership fee, that will be a lot more elegant, and we'll have the funding structure in place.
Well, how much would it roughly be to bring something like this to Indiana?
It could be done for about $2,500.
Okay.
Much cheaper than a conference.
Yeah.
Much cheaper.
What are some prospective venues then that you would?
Their big requirement is it needs to be not too far from a major airport and cheap lodging with a really, really robust
Internet.
network. They do request limited, like lunch for the 3 days that they would be in town. But they're responsible for getting here, their lodging, and their evening meals. So
So do we have a venue that, I mean, where we had the conference this year, does that fit the bill, or was the?
we could have done it there, yeah. We already have a relationship with them, obviously, not only as a state library, but the state now uses them as a preferred vendor. But I would be perfectly willing to look someplace else if they were willing to give us a better rate.
In the 2,500, would that be kind of what you had in mind? Was that particular?
That is what I was targeting. So,
I would be
Close
willing
were
to,
we?
to put a little bit toward that.
How close were we?
we didn't get to the halfway point. So. It was a very short window. I was aware that I did not give libraries enough time to really think about what they had available and if it felt valuable for their libraries. So we'll try. I think I would like to definitely try again next year because it is, based on the last 2 years, the single most productive option for making things happen to master. So.
Jason, have you attended that?
You went to one in Grand Rapids?
Yeah. It's where we had a big discussion / argument about the web client stuff. And then, I mean, it is a good way to get things done. That's also where all the Stripe payment development happened. You know, we're not using that here. It's nice that that's available for other libraries, and it only took a day and a half of concentrated work. There are no sessions really to speak of. You just kind of get into small groups. All of our mobile web client or mobile OPAC came from there. I had started something here and they redid it and made it useful for everyone. So we get a lot done.
There is a hack fest at the international conference, but I don't think they get anywhere near kind of work done there.
Well, it costs more to send people,
Well, yeah, of course.
and it's one day out of the rest of the week instead of just 3 days of just that.
Are there any more questions about the Hackaway? The other thing there is the annual conference 2016, and there's been a call in the community for people to start thinking about hosting the international conference in 2016, obviously not in 2015 yet, but And I was kind of rolling around in my head. We did 2012 was in Indianapolis, the international conference. And I was just thinking maybe that there was another place in Indiana, whether it be close to Kentucky, there is another Kentucky Evergreen library there, or even Cincinnati or Chicago or somewhere else in Indiana that we may potentially think about as a venue for the 2016, if anybody's interested in hosting the 2016 International Conference. And I'm not saying one specific library, I'm saying us as a consortium or us as a state doing that.
The library you're talking about in Kentucky is Kenton County, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do we have any sort of relationship? Do we speak to them? Or?
I know Joe.
I have not spoken with them.
Because you have a major airport right there. It's, plenty of conference space and whatnot if you need to do that, so.
And there is an Ohio consortium as well.
I was gonna say, we have a relationship with Ohio Link too, so
Yeah.
consider that.
So Andrew, how about it? I'm just kidding. I don't.
We are halfway between.
Yeah, I'm not really asking for any decisions. I'm just asking that people maybe think about it. And, because the international conference, I guess it's a big deal.
Yeah, and people remember that we hosted it.
Yeah.
Like when we go each year, they always compare conferences to Indiana.
Oh, really?
They do. Yeah. Yeah. There are a lot of things that stick out in their minds. So, yeah.
I thought PLA Indy was the, of the three I've been to, was the best.
I don't have anything against Indianapolis, by the way. I mean, if people want to do it in Indianapolis too, that would be fine. But I was just thinking, if they don't, there may be some other venues in the kind of region. That's it. That's all I have.
As you're thinking about that, remember that 2016 is the state's bicentennial.
Yes.
And while that may not be a big deal to a lot of you guys,
That's kind
it
of
may
a
be a
big
big deal
deal.
to us.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So when you say a big deal, as in work?
Like, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we're going to be very focused on that.
Okay.
All right. Do we have any announcements other than the next meeting, August 12th?
Did we need to vote on this upgrade timeline? Didn't,
Yeah.
I thought.
There wasn't.
You started to, but then I got some general agreement, local people saying, no, it's up to the IT guys.
Oh, okay.
They're okay with it.
So we don't need
That's
to.
fine. If you would like to vote on it, that's.
Oh, I don't
was just
care.
gonna- it seemed like there was consensus that that's okay
Yeah.
with everybody.
All right. I just didn't know if we needed to have it.
Well, I'd like to start letting everybody know as soon as possible. I doubt most libraries are going to have to worry about closing extra that particular few days, but I'm going to make sure that everyone gets it on their calendar so they can start notifying people. It won't be on, they may not be online the day after Christmas.
I just have a brief question. I'm still kind of, I guess, dumbstruck a little bit by the libraries that abstained because they didn't necessarily understand what was going on or didn't know that they needed to have a board action. I guess from my perspective, it seemed, of course I'm sitting here in this meeting, so obviously things seem really obvious to me. Has there been some kind of breakdown in communication? Because I thought it was covered really well.
I'm going to be honest with you, about 20% non-responsiveness is about average for us.
Okay.
So, for whatever reason, we send out too much information and people just ignore us.
I don't read their mail.
What did you just say? Thank you.
Can you say that louder, Janet, or not?
I just said, what did you say?
Like Warner.
And part of it is, getting stuff to boards, you trying to get your board packet together, and there's 1,000 pieces of paper.
And sometimes you
that's one
forget
board is just-
something. I've forgotten.
It's stuck under something on your desk. I know that happens at least one of the libraries I've talked to. It accidentally got buried and they didn't find it until
Very
I.
Or it could be, because I'm sometimes in that 20%, that it's an issue that I don't care about, whether it goes one or, it's not a big deal to me.
Okay.
And that could be,
And was,
I don't have a strong
did you get
opinion, so.
indication on that at all?
I didn't have anybody say it didn't matter to them. I had a couple of libraries that did say they didn't think they needed to do anything because they didn't think they had a say. And so I did spend some time talking to them about the fact that this wasn't valid and we would like them to go ahead and express an opinion on their library's behalf. But the majority would ultimately make the decision.
That's it.
Any other announcements? We have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
You have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Andrea, was that your last motion?
Thank you.